So recently I've been looking at a bunch of different sets in Scarlet and Violet era, and when I say look at the different sets, look at the overall values of the sets. Now I'm not doing a tier list today. I'm going to do that probably once Black Bolt and White Flare is out, and then we'll do an overview of the whole of the Scarlet and Violet era and give my thoughts and opinions of where things may go in the future and what might be a good time to invest in, and so on and so forth. Today's like kind of a mini review. We're going to be looking at a bunch of different sets in Scarlet and Violet era and talking through what has been going on regarding single cards and just the overall value that is in these sets, because things have been shifting downwards pretty much across the board. So it'd be really interesting to see, and also give you guys an idea of like which sets have that value in them, right? Whether or not you want to open them or keep them sealed, what's in the set makes a huge difference. So it's going to be really interesting to see what has actually been going on. So today we're looking at PokeJace at the whole of the Scarlet and Violet era. Let's get into it. Okay, so we have all of the different sets here on PokeJace. Of course, we can look at the promos as well, which would be kind of interesting. Of course, we've got Black Bolt and White Flare yet to release. They're going to be the last ones, and that is it, really, for the Scarlet and Violet era. An incredible time. We've had some ups, we've had some downs. It has been one crazy ride. But today we're going to be going through all these different sets and just seeing like certain cards, overall values, and so on and so forth, and talk about where, like, how would I rank these or rate these sets overall out of 10? That's probably where I would go. So let's start off with Scarlet and Violet base, of course. So Scarlet and Violet base set has, been out for a while, right? March 2023, so over 2 years now. We're looking at $524 in the overall set value, and things look very, very different. Looking at like the prices and where these big cards lie and so on and so forth. I mean, look, the Miriam has been slipping like crazy. So the Gardevoir is the most expensive card at $40. That's not great in the grand scheme of things. Then again, this is what normally happens with base sets. You look at Sword and Shield base and so on and so forth. Sealed product is expensive, but the single cards in the set pretty bad. So Gardevoir, even though they're nice, they're just not high in value, right? So the Gardevoir's holding the top spot. Then all the Ralts has been doing reasonably well as an illustration rare. Drowsy was the hump pump machine that everybody went crazy for, and then it lasted for like not even a week, and then it just fell through the floor. You got Miriam coming in, which has been slipping always, all the time. Kalia coming in, probably will overtake the Miriam at some point. Riolu, we actually pulled this one recently on a stream. Beautiful illustration rare. Miraidon, one of my favorite special illustration rares from the set. Slowpoke as well, really nice. Koraidon. So when I look at this set, $524. Not bad, right? It's still a base set, so it's not the best, right? It's not the best. But it has fallen a little bit. I mean, it's up overall, but it has fallen a little bit recently. But it's like $524. I mean, you're looking at probably around retail for booster boxes now, or maybe above retail. So for me, I just think that you could probably pick up, especially in the US, you could complete the set for less than 3 booster boxes. In my opinion, I'll just go and complete the set. But overall, where do I rank this? If I had to give this a rating out of 10, like 10 being absolutely amazing, like Evolving Skies level, I would say, and 1 could be, I don't know, Pokemon Go. I would probably say that Scarlet and Violet base is probably set around maybe a 5. I think it's a very good base set. As far as like a base set goes, I do feel like it's very, very good. But I think like the overall value of the set moving forward as well, I do feel like, I think Sealed is going to be very interesting, and I think Sealed will just do very well anyway. But I think as far as the cards are concerned, the value within the set, I would probably give it about a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Okay, then we're on to Paldea Evolved, which came out in June of 2023, so basically 2 years now. We're looking at about just under 1.1k. That has actually dropped. It was a bit more expensive than that over the past few months, but it has actually started to slip a little bit. But there's a lot of value to be found. Like, we've got a big chase card, of course, and the Magikarp. But if you took away the Magikarp, there is still a good chunk of value spread across a lot of cards, which is pretty much what you want to see, right? So if you remove the Magikarp, you're looking around about $800 to $900 left in the set compared to what we just saw with Scarlet Violet base. That's very, very impressive. So yeah, Paldea Evolved's got some big heavy hitters, of course, with the Iono and the Raichu and the Trantar. But it is pretty much the illustration rares that are carrying this set. I mean, even the Magikarp is an illustration rare. But yeah, there's a lot of value to be had, even because the illustration rares across the board, they are all doing relatively well. A lot of the special illustration rares haven't. That's kind of interesting. A lot of them have fallen a lot out of favor, whereas Iono's holding pretty strong, but outside of that, not looking pretty good. So yeah, 1.1k or just shy is pretty decent. So if I had to give like Paldea Evolved a ranking out of 10, a rating out of 10, I'm pretty sure I would give it like a solid 8. I think it's pretty good. I do like Paldea Evolved, and I think, you know, not looking at booster boxes or sealed, just the cards and the card values and the Pokemon that's in them, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. There's some good fan favorites here. Onto the third set now, Obsidian Flames, August 2023, so coming up 2 years. Just under $300 in value, so a lot less than Paldea Evolved, and, you know, nearly half of the Scarlet and Violet base, which is kind of interesting. This, I mean, I kept calling this Darkness Ablaze 2.0. It kind of is. It is better than Darkness Ablaze, but not by much. Yeah, not by much at all. Now, don't get me wrong, the Charizard is incredible, but then so is the Charizard VMAX from Darkness Ablaze. They're both pretty cool, and there's some really nice illustration rares that can be found in Obsidian. It is a much smaller set. That's probably why the value isn't really there, but still, product's been going, you know, very crazy. But yeah, there isn't a huge amount. I mean, you got some nice, you know, illustration rares and things like that, but outside of that, this set is pretty weak, and it is like Charizard or bust. And yeah, there's quite a lot of Charizards in this set, but in my opinion, it's not the best, right? If you compare to, like, I don't know, Brilliant Stars, for example, which has a lot of Charizards, that set's like incredible, you know, in comparison. So for me, I think Obsidian Flames, as far as like cards go and the overall value and things like that, is it better than base set? I'm actually probably going to say no. I think the booster boxes will probably perform better than base set. Maybe. I mean, the booster boxes are doing pretty well. I mean, even Dance and Blaze, which is a much worse set than this, you know, is climbing, right? It is doing pretty well. But if I had to compare this to SV base, I would say this is probably a little bit worse than SV base. I think SV base has got some good illustration rares going for it as well. So I would probably give this maybe a 5 out of 10 compared to some of the others. Then on to 151, arguably one of the best sets. You know, some people may even say the best set in the Scarlet and Violet era. We're looking at $1,030 overall. Has been dropping as well. Been keeping an eye on 151. It's been very consistent for a long time. However, the single cards been quite stagnant for a while and have started to slip, especially the Charizard. Look, you got the big fan favorites in here. If you're full of nostalgia like me, and you grew up with base set and jungle and fossil and things like that, and with Pokemon Red and Blue, then you're going to love this set. And for me, I think that is one of the main reasons why, just the power of nostalgia, it's going to be a massive performer. And you got a lot of value spread across this set as well. It's not a massive set, so you got a lot of value. Of course, incredible fan favorites, because it is, you know, pretty much a modern day base set, which is very, very impressive. So for me, I do feel like Pokemon 151 is just so good. Yes, it has been slipping a little bit, but still 1,000 is very good, bearing in mind how much this set has been opened as well, which is, you know, pretty good. So for me, I think 151, I'm probably going to have to give it like a 9 out of 10. It's just so good. It came out in September, so it's not even 2 years old yet, and it is just absolutely fantastic. It is so, so good. And hopefully, yeah, we'll see treatments like this for some of the other generations in the future. Okay, on to Paradox Rift. This one is, a lot of people like it, a lot of people hate it. It's kind of a weird one. So under $900, you do have a lot of illustration rares in this set. You've got the Groudon, Altaria, some really nice cards. The Roaring Moon, which is one of my favorite cards in the set. There's just a whole bunch in this set, which is really cool. And the value is spread out quite a bit. And being under 1,000, it's not too bad. And it is quite a large set as well. But like, if you had to compare it to some of the others, like 151, for example, it doesn't even come close. But I do feel like, apart from Paldea Evolved, this is definitely better than base, and it's definitely better than Obsidian Flames. So if I had to really rate Paradox, I'll probably just give it like probably a 7 out of 10, which is above average. I think it's above average set, and I think it will do reasonably well in the future. But right now, it's just trying to find its footing and where it kind of wants to be, and whether or not people want to go in on it or not. It all depends over time. On to Paldean Fates. So we got one of the Fate sets coming in. $1,300 for this one. Came out in January of 2024. So about a year and a half old now. Getting pretty expensive. I love the Fate set. But I think a lot of people do like this one over Shining Fates, for example. Mainly because you've got some really nice baby shinies and some nice full arts. But it's the other cards. It's the special illustration rares that really do make this set amazing. And you got some gold cards as well. Some unique looking gold cards. But yeah, the Mew, the Charizard, and the Gardevoir, absolutely incredible. Especially that Mew's doing just insanely well with the prices. And then on top of that, the Charizard is doing fantastic. So overall, this set is just so fun to open. People love it. Like I say, big fan favorite cards and favorite Pokemon. It's just, if you're going to master it, it's so difficult. but it is such a cool set. And being at $1,300 is very, very impressive. So for me, I kind of feel Paldean Fates will do very well. And I think we're going to see probably the overall value of this set climb over time. So yeah, I think for Paldean Fates, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. It's definitely better than Shining Fates. I still think Hidden Fates is probably better. And I kind of feel like it's in a way on that same level as Paldea Evolved as well. We've got Temporal Forces coming in at $777, so quite a bit less actually than Paradox Rift. This is kind of interesting one. I've always called Temporal Forces to be like the dark horse. There's just so many good special illustration rares in this set of so many fan favorite Pokemon that I'm like, it's got to bounce back at some point. Like, it's got to do well in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe this could be like a Chilling Reign type set where you got so many amazing artworks and people don't maybe appreciate as much and it starts to climb over time. I mean, with cards like the Ghastly, you know, the Sawsbuck and the Deerling as well, is just amazing. Just across the board, this set has just got some of the nicest artworks in my opinion, which is very, very cool. But like, under $800 is not great. It really isn't great. And for me, I kind of feel like this is slightly above middle of the road. It's definitely better than Obsidian and Base. Probably definitely not better than Paldea. Very, very similar to Paradox in my opinion. So you're probably looking at between, I would say maybe a 6 to 7 of this one. But overall, still great. Got a lot of room to grow, but I think it potentially could break 1K down the line. Then on to Twilight Masquerade, we've got another set set around $1,000. That's actually quite interesting. So we've got the Big Boy Greninja coming in at $300. In my opinion, an incredible card and very impressive that it's holding at $300. Then you've got a couple of trainers. I'm not a huge fan of the fact we've got a couple of trainers there. And then you've got the Eevee. But then a lot of the other cards in the set are kind of a bit boring, right? A lot of the other special illustration rares are not doing the best. Some nice illustration rares though in the set with the Infernape, the Chansey, Tatsugiri, even the Growlithe are all pretty cool. So a lot of value is held in like the top like 5 cards. Like, where do I see this set? I think this set's going to do very well. Came out in May, so we're looking at just roughly just over a year old. It is a large set with a value of 1,000 already. Greninja is holding the fort down though by being, you know, a $300 card. Where would I put this? I would probably give this a 7.5. I think Paldea Evolved is probably better than Twilight Masquerade. Just because I think a lot more people prefer the artwork and a lot, you know, more better choice of Pokemon in there and so on and so forth. So I do feel this is kind of a, you know, probably around a 7.5, bit less than Paldea Evolved, bit less than Paldean Fates, but still kind of up there. Then we have Shrouded Fable, arguably, some say, the worst set. So we're looking at, you know, August, so been out nearly a year. The value's there for a small set. $633 is no joke, guys. And it's because the set doesn't have like one big mega card. It is just full of just value left, right, and center. And it's spread out quite a bit across a whole bunch of different cards. And I think it's cool. You know, it's a really cool set. Some absolutely amazing artwork, especially when it comes to illustration rares. Personally, I think the special illustration rares are pretty much a letdown, which is a shame just because, I mean, it'd be nice to have good ones, but it's just the way it goes. But yeah, I mean, a lot of illustration rares come through, which I think a lot of people would want to grade and things like that, which is pretty cool. So where do I see this set lie? Like, what would I rate out of 10? I think it's definitely better than Obsidian Flames. I think it's probably better than SV Base, potentially. So I kind of would probably put this at a 6. I think, or a 6.5. I do feel like it's good, but not like as good maybe as SV Base. But yeah, it's kind of like the bottom tier. Okay, then on to Stellar Crown. Wow, the value of this is not great. $420 for Stellar Crown. That has been falling like crazy. That's really cheap. I think you can get the whole box, like the whole set for the price of 2 boxes, which is madness. I've got the Squirrel and the Bulbasaur, which I kind of guessed that they would be the most expensive cards in the set. It was inevitable. Like, it was going to happen. The turtle wasn't going to hold for much longer. You got my favorite special illustration rare out of all of the sets, which is the Dash Bun. Absolutely amazing. But the value's not there, guys. The value for the set is definitely not there. I know it is a smaller set, but it just is a feel-bad set, really, for that value. And it is better than Obsidian. But that's pretty much about it. So I would probably give Stellar Crown maybe like a 6 out of 10 as well. Like, I just don't see it doing that great. Of course, all depends on the Squirrel and the Bulbasaur, but I think overall the rest of the set is very, very lackluster, which can hurt in the future. Okay, then on to Surging Sparks. We're looking about 1.1k or just shy of 1.2k. This set has fallen in value a hell of a lot. Came out in November, so it hasn't been out massively long, maybe about 8 to 10 months. So yeah, I mean, look, I like Surging Sparks. I think Surging Sparks is fantastic. There's some really nice cards in it. Of course, you've got the big Pikachu, you've got the Latias and Latios, and just so on and so forth. It is really, really good. But it is slipping a bit. It is. And it's how well will that maintain down the line? Like, how strong are these? You know, is it a top heavy set? It's definitely a top heavy, but not like a top single card heavy. There's like a lot of cards as well for a good amount of value, and then it does drop quite rapidly after that. So for me, like, is this as good as Paldea Evolved? Is it better than Paldea Evolved? It's kind of like the benchmark here, especially for the more recent Scarlet and Violet era stuff. So for me, I would probably say an 8. I think it's going to do like very well. I think a lot of the value of these will go up over time, but it has been falling quite a lot, like considerable amount. So keep that one in mind. Then we have the top dog, Prismatic Evolutions. January it came out this year, and we're looking at just shy of $6,000 for the set. That has fallen, right? We've seen it fallen quite a few $1,000s since its release, and I think it will continue to fall with the more reprints that are hitting the market. We just need more reprints, guys, like pretty much across the board. And the downside that we do have is we just need more, and we're not getting enough. And we're definitely not getting enough here in the UK anyway. But look, this set is a home run. I've said it time and time again. This is like just top tier. It is just so good. I mean, it's a horrible set to open, and like I think the availability is just also not great. But we can't deny how great this set is. This is Evolving Skies 2.0. But even if you completely removed the EVs out of this set, there are still some big, heavy lifters. I mean, you got the Roaring Moon, $190, Shrouded, $150, then a bunch of other SIRs that are over $100, and we just haven't really seen that in a lot of these other sets as well. But yes, of course, EVs do absolutely carry this set, and it will be Evolving Skies again. Like, it's just top dog. And if, like, in my opinion, if I had to give Evolving Skies as far as a booster box set is concerned, a 10 out of 10, then for me, Prismatic is also a 10 out of 10 as far as it goes regarding a specialty non-booster box set. Of course, if this had a booster box, then it would also be a 10. It's just an absolute home run. So yeah, I do expect this to hold insane value, and it'll be amazing collection pieces for people in the future. Then we have Journey Together. This one's kind of interesting because it had so much hype, and the hype is starting to die down. Well, I say style, it's died down quite a bit already. $733 for the whole set. That has fallen quite substantially. I think it was like well over $1,000 when the set came out. And it's a small set, so I do expect it to continue to drop in value. But even for a small set, it has near enough the same amount of values as like Temporal Forces, for example. And for a small set, that's very, very impressive. So the other small set we saw pretty much was Stellar Crown. And look at that, that was like $400 something. We saw Obsidian, that was like $200 something. So for this being 700 or over 700, very impressive, right? Very, very impressive. Lily's Clefairy, beautiful artwork. I mean, there's a lot of amazing artwork, I must admit, in this set, and a lot of it has been falling. It's a small set, decent pull rates as well, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it will slip a little bit, and I think because it is a smaller set, it will have naturally that lower value. But I think it will do well. I do genuinely think it will do well, even though it's not as hyped as, it doesn't reach anywhere near the hype that was coming for it. I would probably give Journey Together like a 7 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. It's definitely better than, like I said, the other smaller booster box sets. But I think overall this is a pretty decent one. And then finally we have Destined Rivals. We haven't really looked at the overall value of this set because obviously set's recently just come out. But we're looking at $2,000. That is pretty crazy. Like, that's really, really expensive. And I do expect that to continue to fall. I mean, look, we looked at the other biggest booster box set, was probably Surging at basically 1.2k. This one's a lot more. The Mewtwo, there's so much, right? The Mewtwo, there's just Garchomp, Ho-Oh, so on, so Moltres. Like, there's just so many good fan favorite Pokemon in this set. And it's Team Rocket, right? Has that added value to it. And a lot of these prices definitely take with a pinch of salt because they will fall the more and more packs get opened. So I do expect the overall value of this set to continue to fall. But where would it be? I mean, it's the most valuable booster box set. It's the most valuable booster box set. It's got the biggest hype around it as well. It's like nostalgia bait with the whole Team Rocket stuff, similar on that similar scale to 151. In my opinion, I think this is a really good set. Could I compare this to Evolving Skies? No, I don't think that this even comes close to Evolving, but this is still a very, very strong set. So I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I do think Destined Rivals will do very well, especially for the cards, and just the overall value of the set will do very, very well in the long run. But I think it's going to take time to, find its footing after reprints and so on and so forth. But I think this one will power through quite nicely, and I do expect it to be the biggest booster box set in the whole of the Scarlet and Violet era. And for that matter, that's why it's got a 9. There you have it, guys. Those are the whole of the Scarlet and Violet era, which is kind of interesting. Destined Rivals, 2k, incredible. But a lot of them have been falling. And some sets, are better value than others, of course. But, I mean, booster boxes and Seal Product right now are reaching new heights, and they keep going up and up and up. So it's kind of a bit weird when it comes to Seal Product, because like everything's doing well. It's not like one thing's not, do you know what I mean? Everything's doing well in Scarlet and Violet. Whereas the actual sets themselves and the single card prices and the overall values have fluctuated and changed and moved around. Destined Rivals is the best booster box set. Prismatic is the best overall set. Overall, a very, very solid era. I would even say that this is better than Sword and Shield. Yeah, especially with 151 as well. If you made it to the video, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Which is your favourite set from the Scarlet and Violet era? For me, personally, I would probably have to go with... maybe Destined Rivals? Like, I really like Paldean Fates, but I kind of feel like Destined Rivals maybe have knocked it a bit. It's either... I don't know. I would say either Destined Rivals, 151, or Paldean Fates. Those are my top 3. Prismatic, I mean, I like the evolutions, but outside the evolutions, I don't really care for the set that much. So it's just the way it is. But that's it from me, guys, in today's video. If you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on screen. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.